All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a topic that's set to completely reshape how we work with technology. We're going way beyond your typical chatbots and voice commands to talk about something called Agentic AI. Look, we all know the drill. You ask your phone for the weather, or you tell your smart speaker to play a song. It's a pretty simple one-way street, right? You give a command, it gives a response. But what if it wasn't a one-way street? What if your assistant didn't just answer you, but actually understood your goal and then went off and did all the little things to make it happen all on its own?
Well, that kind of proactive, goal-crushing partner, that is exactly what Agentic AI is all about. And trust me, it's a massive, massive leap forward.
So what really makes this stuff so different? To really get it, we need to put it side by side with the AI we're already used to.
Think of it like this. Your traditional AI, your Siri, your Alexa, it's basically a really smart tool. It's like a hammer. Super useful for sure, but it does absolutely nothing until you pick it up and tell it exactly where to strike. An agentic AI, though, that's more like hiring an expert carpenter. You don't tell them how to swing the hammer. You just say, I need a bookshelf, and they figure out the rest. They'll design it, buy the wood, assemble it, and finish it. You give the goal, they handle the whole process. And that's the magic word right there, autonomy. Just like that carpenter, Agentic AI is built to work independently. It's not just about reacting to simple commands anymore. It's about becoming a proactive problem solver.
So what's under the hood? Well, these systems are really built on a few core ideas. Number one, they're independent, so you don't have to babysit them. Number two, they're goal-oriented. They understand the why behind what you're asking, not just the what. They can also reason through a bunch of different steps to handle really complex tasks. And maybe the most powerful piece of all, they can actually learn from what they do and get better over time.
Okay, let me make this crystal clear with an example. Say you just finished a huge team meeting. You could ask your traditional AI assistant, hey, can you summarize these notes? And it would. But in Agentic AI, it goes so much further. It reads the transcript, it figures out who's supposed to do what, it actually creates tasks in your project management software, pings your team members, and then it follows up to make sure the deadlines are met. You see the difference? It doesn't just summarize the work, it does the work. And this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. This tech is already out there, right now, being put to work in some major industries. Let's take a look.
In the world of business operations, Agentic AI is a total game changer. In IT, it's spotting network issues before they can cause a crash. In finance, it's not just logging expenses, it's automating the whole chain of invoicing and reconciling accounts. Think of all the admin hours that saves.
Then you've got heavy industry. Companies like Mercedes-Benz are using it to make their production lines more efficient and even predict when a machine needs maintenance before it breaks. And in healthcare, it's helping doctors sift through mountains of data to catch diseases earlier and design treatment plans that are perfectly tailored to a single patient. It's incredible stuff. Now let's switch gears to something we all have experience with, shopping. Because in retail, this technology is completely changing the way things are done. The economic power here is just staggering. Get this. A massive 80% of customers say they're more likely to buy from a brand that gives them a personalized experience. And what's the engine making all that personalization possible at scale? Agentic AI. It's making customers feel truly understood, and that's driving huge growth.
But here's the thing. With this kind of incredible power comes some pretty immense responsibility. It isn't all just about efficiency and profits. We absolutely have to talk about the risks.
First, let's talk about the promise. The numbers are just wild. Organizations that are bringing Agentic AI into their workflow are reporting productivity gains of 20 to 30%. That isn't just a small bump, that's a revolution in how we get things done. And that's the question we have to keep asking ourselves, because that level of automation, that level of autonomy, well, it comes with some very real challenges we need to face head-on.
You can really think of it like a balance sheet. On one side, you have all these amazing benefits, incredible efficiency, better customer service, the works. But on the other side of that ledger, you have some serious concerns. The potential for job displacement, huge questions around privacy and security, and a real lack of transparency.
Let's really dig into those for a second. First, there's the whole black box problem. If we don't know why an AI made a certain choice, how can we ever really trust it? Then you've got accountability. When one of these autonomous systems makes a mistake, who's to blame? The owner? The programmer? And maybe the most worrying of all is value misalignment.
What happens if an AI is so laser-focused on efficiency that it blows right past our human ethics to achieve its goal?
So how do we get all the good stuff while avoiding the bad? Well, the answer really lies in how we choose to guide this technology as it grows up.
It all comes down to finding that critical balance. We can't just build these incredibly powerful systems and then just walk away. The secret sauce is finding that sweet spot between letting the AI do what it does best and making sure a human is still providing oversight. So the path forward has to be deliberate. It means we have to design these things with human values baked in right from the start. It means we have to create clear rules of the road, governance, so everyone knows who's accountable. And most importantly, it means we have to always keep a human in the loop, someone who can review and guide the system's actions.
And that brings us to the final question, the big one. We started off thinking about AI as just a tool, a smarter hammer. But as it evolves into a true teammate, one that can plan, act, and decide all by itself, we are left with the most important question of all. Who or what is ultimately in charge?
Today, we're talking about what might just be the next giant leap in artificial intelligence. It's called Agentic AI, and it's a real game changer. And if you're wondering why you should care, well, just follow the money. We're talking about a market that's projected to just explode. From around $5 billion this year to a jaw-dropping $47 billion by 2030. That isn't just growth, that's a full-blown revolution. So that's the big question, right? What exactly is this stuff? And why is everyone saying it's about to completely reshape, well, pretty much everything? Okay, let's get into it. To really get a handle on where we're going, we first need to be super clear on where we are right now. So let's start with the kind of AI most of us are already familiar with. Think of the AI we use today, often called narrow AI, as a hyper-specialized, incredibly smart tool. It's fantastic at its one specific job, whether that's sifting through data or spotting a pattern. But it's on a leash. It works within very strict guardrails, and at the end of the day, it needs a human to be in the driver's seat to make the final decision. It's an amazing assistant, for sure, but it's still an assistant. So if that's the tool, what comes next? This is where Agentic AI completely flips the script. We're not talking about a better tool anymore. We're talking about a whole new kind of teammate. And this right here, this is the crucial difference. Agentic AI systems are autonomous. They don't just sit there waiting for you to tell them what to do. They can look at a situation, make a decision, take an action, and, this is the really wild part, they learn from what happens next, all on their own, in real time, without someone constantly looking over their shoulder. So let's really break this down. Let's put these two side by side so you can see exactly what separates the old school tool from this new teammates. What's so fascinating here is how deep the differences go. With traditional AI, everything is centralized. A human has to approve pretty much everything. But Agentic AI is decentralized. It empowers individual agents to just get the job done. And look at how they learn. Traditional AI needs a person to say, yep, that's right, update yourself. Agentic AI? It's self-improving, constantly learning from live feedback. But the biggest shift is our role. Our job description totally changes. We go from being an operator, the person clicking the buttons, to being a strategic guide. We just set the big picture goal, like, say, improve customer happiness, and the agent itself figures out all the nitty-gritty steps to make it happen. Now, I know this might all sound a bit like science fiction, but this isn't some far-off future. It's happening right now. Let's look at how Agentic AI is already making a real impact out in the world. I mean, it's popping up everywhere. In healthcare, you've got agents that proactively reach out to patients based on their health records. In the world of software, they're not just helping write code, they're autonomously testing it and finding bugs. And in finance, they're watching transactions happen live, spotting complex fraud patterns way faster than any human ever could. And the results? They are pretty incredible. Check this out. A big US health provider brought in an agentic system and saw their support calls drop by 30%. Why? Because the AI was smart enough to get ahead of patient needs before they even had to pick up the phone. And if you want to talk about efficiency, this is just staggering. The company Leidos started using agentic AI for their IT support, and they cut down the average time to fix a problem by 99%. Let that sink in for a second. 99%. Things that used to take hours or even days are now getting sorted out almost instantly. And believe me, this is just the warm-up act. Projections are showing that in just a couple of years, these systems will be automating about 15% of our day-to-day decisions at work. The small stuff like routing a support ticket or prioritizing your to-do list. Okay, but it's not all smooth sailing. When you have this much power and this much autonomy, it comes with a whole new set of really serious questions. This tech is absolutely a double-edged sword, and we have to talk about the risks. Because here's the thing, the moment you give an AI the power to act on its own, you are also opening a brand new can of worms. We're talking about a whole new class of operational, ethical, and, of course, security risks. And it's not like companies are blind to this. A recent survey from McKinsey is pretty eye-opening. You've got a whopping 60% of businesses saying they see major operational risks, like an agent going rogue and ordering the wrong supplies. And nearly half are worried about ethical issues and bias. And from a security perspective, the threats are totally new. These autonomous agents become brand new targets for hackers. They can be hit with data breaches or manipulated with something called a prompt injection, which is basically a clever way of tricking the AI into doing something it shouldn't. Just imagine if a bad actor got control of one of these, the damage could be huge, from deleting critical data to making unauthorized trades. Which really brings us to the fundamental question of this new era. Agentic AI is no longer just a tool we use, it's becoming a true collaborator, a teammate. So the challenge for all of us isn't just about building smarter AI, it's about building wiser AI. How do we give these agents the freedom to do amazing things while still making sure we have the final say, that they stay aligned with our goals? That's the billion-dollar question we all have to figure out, and we have to do it together. Okay, I want to ask you something. What if your AI wasn't just a tool, but an actual teammate? That's the huge promise of what we call agentic AI. And let me tell you, it is a massive shift that's about to redefine how we work with technology. This isn't just, another software update. It's a whole new category of artificial intelligence. So let's really frame this with that simple question. Is your AI a tool or is it a teammate? Think about the assistants we use every day, right? Your Siri, your Alexa, they're amazing tools. You give a command, you get a very specific response. But agentic AI, that's designed from the ground up to be a teammate. And believe me, that changes everything. So what exactly is agentic AI? Well, to put it simply, it's AI that's designed to operate on its own. The keywords you really got to focus on here are proactive and autonomous. This kind of AI doesn't just sit around waiting for you to tell it what to do. It actively makes its own decisions and adapts to new stuff without you having to constantly look over its shoulder. So let's really break down what that means in practice. This is all about moving way beyond the simple assistance we're used to and really getting our heads around this jump from a passive tool to a truly proactive partner. Here's where you can see the difference side by side. On the left, you've got your traditional AI. It's basically a passive tool, right? It just responds to what you put in. But over on the right, you've got agentic AI. This is a proactive partner. It can actually set its own goals, create plans to achieve them, and then go out and act on those plans. Big difference. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes this possible? Well, it really comes down to 4 key things. First, they're independent. They can just operate on their own. They're also goal-oriented, meaning they focus on the final outcome, not just checking off a single task. They use complex, multi-step reasoning to figure things out. And this last one is absolutely crucial. They're capable of self-improvement. They actually learn as they go. So how does an agent actually, think? It's a pretty logical process. First, it has to understand the big picture goal you've given it. Then, it cooks up a plan to get there. After that, it figures out which tools it needs, like, say, searching the web or pulling data from a spreadsheet, and uses them. And finally, it executes the plan and keeps tweaking its approach as it gets new information. It iterates. Let's make this super concrete with an analogy I love. Think about meeting notes. A traditional AI, it could summarize those notes for you if you asked it to. But an agentic AI, it acts more like a digital project manager. It'll read the notes on its own, pull out the action items, create a task list, assign those tasks to the right people, and it'll even follow up to make sure deadlines are met. It manages the entire workflow from start to finish. Okay, the theory is pretty fascinating, I get it, but where is this stuff actually being used? Let's take a look at some of the real-world applications that are already starting to change entire industries. First up, IT support. Instead of just waiting around for a system to crash and then fixing it, an agentic AI can proactively monitor the networks, spot potential issues before they even become problems, and then automate the service requests. This just dramatically cuts down response times and, more importantly, downtime. And in the world of finance, these agents are absolute workhorses. They're automating all those tedious but super critical tasks. We're talking about handling everything from creating invoices and sending out payment reminders to automatically reconciling transactions. This frees up so much time for the human team to focus on bigger things. And in a field as important as healthcare, agents are being used to analyze these massive sets of medical data to help doctors craft personalized treatment plans for their patients. This has the potential to seriously improve patient outcomes by tailoring care specifically to the individual. It's a game changer. You're probably seeing the common thread here, right? It's all about a massive boost in efficiency. So let's just focus for a second on the incredible promise of productivity that this technology really holds. And look, this isn't just a theory. The early data is already rolling in, and it shows that organizations that are integrating agentic AI are reporting productivity increases of 20 to 30%. That's not a small number. That is a staggering figure, the kind of leap that can totally reshape entire industries. But this productivity jump, it's not just about doing things faster, it's about doing things better. It means an enhanced customer experience with truly personalized service. It means predictive maintenance in factories that prevents those super expensive breakdowns. And in retail, it means the kind of hyper-personalized shopping experiences that customers are really starting to expect. But you knew there was a but, right? With all of this incredible power and autonomy comes a whole new set of challenges and some very, very serious questions. We've seen the promise, and now we have to be real and confront the perils. And this brings us to the central question, the one we all have to grapple with. When an autonomous agent makes a mistake, let's say it unfairly denies someone a loan, who is responsible? Is it the developer who wrote the code, the company that used it? The AI itself? It's a tough one. This really breaks down into a few key ethical headaches. You've got accountability, which we just talked about. Then there's transparency. A lot of these systems can be black boxes, making it almost impossible to understand their reasoning. There's a huge risk of bias, where the AI just ends up amplifying the unfairness that's already in the data it learned from. And of course, massive privacy and security risks when you have agents handling all this sensitive information. At the end of the day, the solution probably lies in finding the right balance. We need systems that give us all that powerful autonomy, but with meaningful human oversight built right in. We're talking about frameworks where a human can always step in, audit a decision, or just hit the brakes and override the AI when things get complicated. So, with all that in mind, both the incredible promise and the serious perils, what does our future with these agents actually look like? Let's look ahead for a minute at how this whole human-AI relationship is going to evolve. I think this quote really just nails the direction we're all heading in. The future probably isn't humans versus machines. It's about cohesive human-agent teams. The goal isn't to replace people, but to enhance what we do, to use this technology to boost our own collaboration and our own creativity. And get this, the teamwork isn't even just going to be between humans and AI. We're already seeing the beginning of AI to AI collaboration. I mean, just imagine specialized AI agents working together just like a human team would to solve problems that are so complex that no single agent or even a single person could ever hope to tackle them alone. Which leaves us with this final and, I think, really critical thought. We are moving from a world where AI is a simple tool that we command to one where it's a proactive partner that we collaborate with. So the fundamental question for all of us is no longer just how we will use this technology, but how we will choose to lead alongside it.
All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a topic that's set to completely reshape how we work with technology. We're going way beyond your typical chatbots and voice commands to talk about something called Agentic AI. Look, we all know the drill. You ask your phone for the weather, or you tell your smart speaker to play a song. It's a pretty simple one-way street, right? You give a command, it gives a response. But what if it wasn't a one-way street? What if your assistant didn't just answer you, but actually understood your goal and then went off and did all the little things to make it happen all on its own?
Well, that kind of proactive, goal-crushing partner, that is exactly what Agentic AI is all about. And trust me, it's a massive, massive leap forward. So what really makes this stuff so different? To really get it, we need to put it side by side with the AI we're already used to.
Think of it like this. Your traditional AI, your Siri, your Alexa, it's basically a really smart tool. It's like a hammer. Super useful for sure, but it does absolutely nothing until you pick it up and tell it exactly where to strike. An agentic AI, though, that's more like hiring an expert carpenter. You don't tell them how to swing the hammer. You just say, I need a bookshelf, and they figure out the rest. They'll design it, buy the wood, assemble it, and finish it. You give the goal, they handle the whole process.
And that's the magic word right there, autonomy. Just like that carpenter, Agentic AI is built to work independently. It's not just about reacting to simple commands anymore. It's about becoming a proactive problem solver.
So what's under the hood? Well, these systems are really built on a few core ideas. Number one, they're independent, so you don't have to babysit them. Number two, they're goal-oriented. They understand the why behind what you're asking, not just the what. They can also reason through a bunch of different steps to handle really complex tasks. And maybe the most powerful piece of all, they can actually learn from what they do and get better over time.
Okay, let me make this crystal clear with an example. Say you just finished a huge team meeting. You could ask your traditional AI assistant, hey, can you summarize these notes? And it would. But an agentic AI? Oh, it goes so much further. It reads the transcript, it figures out who's supposed to do what, it actually creates tasks in your project management software, pings your team members, and then it follows up to make sure the deadlines are met. You see the difference? It doesn't just summarize the work, it does the work.
And this isn't some far-off, futuristic dream. This tech is already out there, right now, being put to work in some major industries. Let's take a look.
In the world of business operations, agentic AI is a total game changer.